Hello, it's me, Miranda. Yes, I am smaller, 110 pounds. I haven't made videos in years, and I'll make a video sometime of where I've been, what's been going on, and all that kind of stuff. But right now, I have a limited amount of time to film while he's gone, my boyfriend's gone, and a crock pot dinner over there. Just lit my candle and put some holiday fabric down on top of my shelf. This is my space right here in the trailer. This is my space right here. And my bedding is like down on the floor over there. But I came up with this idea for the podcast about crafting because that's my happy place. That's like what I do. And right now I'm actually binding off my very first shawl. And I haven't been buying any, the kind of yarn where people gab about their yarn. I'm just using Karen Simply Soft. It's shiny, it's thin, this is my first, getting pretty excited about it. The channel is going to be about crafting, but because I do resin and quilting and knitting and crocheting. Right now I've been focusing on knitting. For years I've been trying to learn, and I haven't really, my area doesn't have a lot of yarn shops, and all the groups that I try to join, the ones that will like actually respond, are all over the world. There's nobody in person that I can meet up with and actually like learn how to do this. So I've been doing, YouTube videos like everybody else. And I can't read a pattern of knitting to save my life. I learned better by somebody showing me and me being able to ask them questions. So that's my spot right there. My yarn is actually in here. Some other crafty stuff is in there. I'm binding this little buddy off right here. And then I'm going to finish something else that I'm doing. I need a happy thing in my life, so I decided to start making these videos. And yeah, I have a storage space with yarn in it, and I can't really get to it right now, so I've just been messing with my stash. And I have been crafting in my car, my van when it ran, in the trailer and everything, like I said. And so I kind of always think about making myself really small so that like I'm not noticed, so that people don't mess with me and stuff like that. And then I thought about it the other day while I was at work and I was knitting my heart out. And I was like, I always craft in a small space. And I was thinking, what can I call my YouTube channel, to be, easy, to go along with what I'm doing. And I thought about it. I was like, crafting in a small space, because I always do. Like, I prefer really tiny places. Everybody wants big houses and all that stuff. And I want like a single wide trailer where the back room that's the bigger room is like my house used to be, and that was my craft room, and then I just slept in the bedroom that's the small bedroom, because you don't need a big space. You just want to like craft and stuff. So yeah, that's my goal, is to have something like that where I can just craft in a small space and then just go to work and come home and craft again. But I craft all day while I'm I knit and stuff all day while I'm on my breaks at work. But yeah, so my shawl is white, this tealy color, sky blue, and I didn't add this color. I was going to add that color. But I'm thinking of doing a shawl in a different shape. Like I did that one where it grows from a really skinny piece all the way until it gets really fat. And I put stripes in. Every time I changed color, I put a few rows of stripes in. And then I thought, well, I want to do a different shape, because I tried putting this on and I don't know how to wear a shawl because I'm always too warm to wear anything like that. So I haven't actually, tried to put it on. And I was watching a podcast the other day, and the lady's like, I can't take my shawl off and show you the shape because I don't know how to put them on very well. It takes me forever to get them on. And I thought that was funny. And then I went and tried to put my shawl on while it was still on my needles. And I was like, crap, how do you put this piece on? So yeah. So I think I want to make a different shape, like the one that grows as a triangle, not the oblong triangle, but like the pyramid kind of thing. And so yeah, but I went through my van, because my van's in the backyard, and I'm in Portland, Oregon, and all my craft stuff is out there. You know, my fabric is actually under the porch or whatever, but my yarn is like everywhere, and there's a few half-started projects and everything, and I have them all over the place. And it's really really windy and cold here. It's like knocking everything in the yard over, like picking up everything and carrying it everywhere. The other day I went to the store, there was a full-size, like really expensive trampoline with the side cover and all the little extra things blown over halfway up a cyclone fence next to this school. And I was like, crap. And everything in the yard keeps getting picked up. Even some chairs, like heavy chairs, got picked up and put other places by the wind. So if he's in here and he doesn't want to be bothered, I'll try to go outside in the yard, but the yard is crazy. And the other day I went in his dad's house and it was so hot in there. He believes in keeping it like 97 degrees with the fire going, and it gets really, really hot. So yesterday I went outside after being in there for a few hours and sat with like 3 hoodies on and blanket and pillows in 2 chairs that were facing each other, was knitting, and my hands became blocks of ice, and I kept sticking them in my pockets or whatever. And so I got really freezing cold. So today I organized the van, because the van has a big bed in it and lots of blankets and pillows and all sorts of stuff, and got 2 really big bags from, like, big reusable bags from Joann's. I got 2 of them, and I put my bulky yarn in one and my regular yarn in the other, and then I have a bag of finished objects and a box and another bag and another bag and another bag. Whew, I need to list some stuff or something. But yeah, so, and then I found all of my electronic stuff and everything like that and organized it so that I can walk in and get past all this stuff where the kitty sits. And because Lita lives in the van, she likes to be an outside cat rather than an in-here cat. And Lita is my tortoiseshell cat. I can walk in and go left, and then there's the whole entire bed, but I put a couple things on the bed, but there's a lot of space in there now for me to sit and actually be in there out of the wind. And if I bring my jump box out there, I can plug my phone charger into it, and I can just play out there all day. You know, I have Saturday and Sunday off, so I usually am trying to figure out something to do. I'm crafting like until 10 at night usually. Like, he goes to sleep, he's like an old man sleeper, I'm telling you. He goes to sleep and wants to be in bed at 8, and I'm just sitting there like with this light that flips. Like, when you bend it, it turns the light on and it goes around your neck. But I don't like wearing it around my neck because I'm usually knitting like this straight down, so that thing is kind of sitting there. So I put it on the edge of the table facing down, so I have my own little spotlight. I need to get one of those IKEA lights, the ones that have that little tiny base and then the little gooseneck, and the light's actually this big. Those things are really good spotlights. But every time I say I want to buy one, he's like, no, I got a lamp somewhere, I'll find it for you. Never finds it. And there's lights everywhere, but they're all too bright to keep on. So I'll sit and I'll knit or crochet or whatever until like 10:30 and then go to sleep. And then I usually knit for all of my breaks, and I'll forget to eat my food. But yeah, so the other thing that I'm working on right now, I keep thinking that's him and I'm like, shit. I've started doing the knitting thing because I can crochet without looking. You know, I can do it and a project's done really, really quickly. I've made like several blankets in no time, and the enjoyment is there. It's so quick. You know, so knitting takes a lot of concentration. You gotta watch what you're doing. You drop a stitch and you gotta do little surgery and stuff here and there. I've had to do surgery so much on this scarf because once he starts talking or I get distracted, I put the wrong, like, because it goes like this, or I guess it goes straight up and then one side goes like that. I accidentally started going like this and that. Ugh. I had to rip out like eight rows last night, and you know, you put your lifeline in and then you just rip it out, which didn't go to plan because a couple of the little loops got stuck in the wrong order. So I ripped that out, and I thought, well, I knit hats. I've always knit hats, and that's pretty much it. I made like a few scarves or whatever once, but it seemed to take forever, and I wasn't in the spot to appreciate taking forever is actually what you want, because you're trying to do something you enjoy. And so I've been knitting chunky hats and stuff like that, nice thin hats, and my phone thing's like, hey, you're running out of battery. I had to unplug my phone to stick it up on the mount thing that he has of mine that he uses. Anyway, so I decided to start knitting things that were more elaborate. And I have yarn that I've had forever, and I've had 5 skeins of this yarn for years sitting in just a project bag. So I've started making a blanket and knitting a blanket, and it seems like it's going to take forever, which is fine, but look how cool it looks. It's like, well, it'll be like this obviously when because it's on a short cord, but oh, it's so nice and so squishy and delicious. And I think I'm knitting it on, let's see, oh no, it's all scratched off. I hate that. Why don't they make it more permanent? I'm doing it on 10s. Yes, 6mm, I think. And it goes really quick. Like, I can do probably this much of it in a day if I'm not bugged too much, but it's gonna be a wide blanket. But I'm working on this skein, and I have like 2 more after that. So it's probably not going to really make a long blanket. It's probably going to be a crazy weird shaped lap blanket. Like, this is probably going to be the length, not that way, because of how much I have left. And then I'll probably leave it, and then maybe get some more yarn for it and just keep working on it. I have 2 blankets I found today that's like that, made of this exact puzzle. The Premier puzzle yarn is like one of my favorite yarns. I've made probably 20 blankets out of this stuff. It crochets well, it knits well, it's really, really plump and delicious. It says it's a number 5. I feel like it's a 4. Like, once you actually get going, it feels like a 4. But this is super cool yarn. Like, if you're not trying to knit like a bougie shawl or whatever, this stuff is really cool. So yeah, I stopped working on that to make a scarf or a shawl because I've been getting back into watching podcasts. Because the kind of stuff that I want to watch is horror movies and, Grey's Anatomy and like romancy stuff, and he hates hearing it. He doesn't like waking up to screaming, which is the horror movies. He doesn't like the gross talk and the pictures and things that they show on Grey's Anatomy. And then romancy shit he gets pissed about because he thinks that I'm trying to like send a message, which would be great, but no. So I've been watching podcasts and with my headphones on a little bit, but he likes it when I play King of the Hill all night long on my phone for noise. So I can't watch certain things after he goes to sleep sometimes. But yeah, these are the 2 things that I'm working on. Like I said, I'm binding this off right this second. I feel like I'm going to try to squeak out a shawl out of the remainder of this because I have this whole one. There's probably half or less than this one, a little drip of that one and some of that one. But there's a shawl that Express Fiber Arts does. I think I just scratched my face. Why does my hand itch really bad? Expression Fiber Arts does a lot of really, really delicious shawls, and there's one that it's the triangle kind, and it's got these little drops in it that look like the petals of a flower, and she just has so many. How do you choose? Like, I don't know how to choose. But I got one of the free patterns Friday, and I can't read it. Like, I don't understand how to do it. And there's a few yarn shops, but for some reason the yarn shop that's closest to me, that's not Joann's and stuff like that, like a real one, isn't open until Wednesday at 4 p.m. Like, they're closed every day but Wednesday and Thursday. And even Wednesday is iffy. It says on their thing, like, hours may change and all this. And it's like, I could really use like an in-person mentor, or I don't know, I would say video chatting mentor, but I really think I would really like somebody in person so that I can say, how do you hold this, or how do you do this, you know, because it's a lot easier than playing tag, you know. And it's easier when somebody can hold your work and do the thing. Like, I taught my boyfriend's daughter how to crochet, and there's a lot of times where she'll be like, could you show me what you mean by putting it this way and holding it, doing this? And so I'll take the work and I'll do it for her, and then she'll undo it and then do it, and it's easier that way. So yeah, but I went through my yarn today in the van, and there is a bunch of thin yarn that I could use. Like, I've never been a person that likes crocheting with thin yarn because of how long it takes. But in this case, the thinner it is, the better drape it is, which I understand. Then I have a bunch of nice yarn in my storage space in California. Like I said, I can't get to that because I'm in Oregon. And I'm not allowed to buy yarn right now because we're saving for something, which is depressing because he buys tons of weed and fast food all the time, and tells me I eat fast food every day, and I don't eat fast food ever. I make my lunch every day, or dinner, and take the leftovers. I don't eat fast food, so he spends his money on those two things and buying his kids stuff for like no reason. Just, hey, I'm going over there, I need to buy, like today we went to the craft store. I'm not allowed to buy yarn, but he bought like 4 kits on building those cheater tie blankets, you know, the cheating ones where you just cut and strip and tie them. As a quilter, when I see those, I'm like, that's cheating. You gotta like cut squares and do things, you know, whatever. I mean, if that's your skill level, do it and enjoy it. Enjoy what you're doing. But dang it, like there could be such pretty ones. Anyway, so he bought a bunch of that today and spent like $60 on that. And all I do is pay my phone bill, my storage unit, and gas. Like, I don't buy anything else. And cat stuff, you know, cat food. I had to buy cat food the other day. But, like, I don't spend money on anything else, and he acts like I have $0. It's just crazy to me because he's always... And I'm not allowed to spend money, and he gets really pissed off at me. I bought that... There's a little elf on a shelf thing right there for $4, and he went fucking ballistic. But, yeah. So, I have a bunch of yarn in the thing here, and some that I am actually going to take from outside, and I'm going to try to match the colors together. I was making hats out of them. It's like really nice silky. I have a bunch of different shades of silver and blue, and I have a $30 skein of yarn that I bought when we went to the Half Moon Ranch in Central Oregon, and he's like, $30. And he was like, oh, make me a hat out of it. And I don't know how many skeins of that thin yarn you need to make a hat. I don't know. The label on it only tells you about like what the sheep was. Or no, it's alpaca. It's an alpaca farm. And we went there and petted them and fed them and stuff like that. And I bought that yarn, and it says, you know, which alpaca it was from. But it doesn't tell you the weight or anything of the yarn, like what thickness it is or anything like that. And I'm just like, I don't know if it's DK or if it's fingering, like, because I don't really work with those all that much. I usually work with worsted. And like this says it's supposed to be worsted. This says 4, but this stuff is thinner than a 4, like by a little bit. I think that this stuff is probably smaller than this a little bit, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I'm like all over the place. I told myself I was gonna make notes, but then I was like, well, let's just do this at the spur of the moment. But yeah, I pretty much just knit all the time now. I found, in the van I went through all my stuff and put all the yarns together, and I found all my projects. Like, I have all these hats that I knit. Oh shit. Oh, no, that one's not mine. I crocheted this one for him, and I made a matching one for his kid. And then when we went camping in Central Oregon, I made him this one and me this one. I knit these with their houndstooth. And then I knit him just a simple ribbed one. This is my usual pattern for his hats because you can't see it, but he works on cars all day, and so he gets his black dirty hands all over it. Like, his hands come home black, and he gets that stuff all over absolutely everything. And yeah, I have more hats than this somewhere that I made him, but yeah, I really wish I could go to an actual yarn store and like pet the yarn and stuff like that. My dream yarn is like a number 5 pastel rainbow. Yeah, every time I see that like marshmallow pastel rainbow stuff, it just makes me so happy. I don't know what I would make with it. I don't know, I'd probably make a hat because I don't want to buy a ton of it. I feel like I want to stick to knitting small projects, but shawls are making me happy. Like, they're just so elegant. They're just so beautiful. And like, nothing else makes me happy but crafting. And I've been crafting for years, and like, I tried learning knitting back in 2015, and like, didn't get enough like resources and have enough going on to like, I don't know. But I've been watching the Grocery Girls podcasts, and they're just so what I need. They're so joyous, and they're like, every single skein of yarn is the most beautiful thing they've ever seen, and that is exactly how I feel. I'll be like going into the yarn store, and my boyfriend gets a little uptight because I, for some reason, need to squish the yarn to my cheek and smell it. And I don't realize I'm doing it. And then last night I was sitting on the floor in my bed, and I was pulling out the yarn that I had in the drawer, and I was trying to see if maybe I could make something else out of it when I was done with this. And I realized I smelled each one because, you want the smell of the craft store still on them. And I found the really nice $30 skein of yarn that I have. And for the quality that they are, $30 isn't a lot. $25 isn't a lot. And there's so many places on Etsy that has like the $25 skeins. And I'm just, oh God, this. Okay. So I did go one day and get uber expensive yarn. I just needed something for myself, okay? I needed it. And so I bought really nice, really nice yarn and made, I like knitting skull cap beanies, not the kind that droop off the back. Those, I don't know. They just look, to me, they kind of make me think of like when guys' pants are falling down and they think it looks good, the sagging thing. That's what droopy backed hats make me think of, is that little off the back. So I make skull cap type of ones, and this is my first time doing this stitch. It was super fun. And then I made this one, and it's, you can kind of see it. I didn't follow a pattern. I just decided to do this weird spiral with the pearls, and it came out cool because there's like columns of spirals all the way around the hat. But the cool thing about this one is when you turn it inside out, it does the same thing but with really thick ones, thick columns. Oh crap, where is it? Come on, do it. It's really hard for me to see what you're seeing. Anyway, this hat is divine. I love this. But, oh, there we go. Okay, you can see it. See how there's like columns of like a braided situation there? Yeah. So, each of these skeins was $42. And I've never secret shopped before, but I did with this. And I have like a bit of a ball left from each of these, but holy macaroni. Yeah, I think that was pushing it. That was pushing it really way too far. I can't believe I spent that much money on a skein of yarn. But the quality and what goes into making it and all that stuff is amazing, and I do appreciate it. I just work a little job, minimum wage kind of thing, and don't really have anything anymore. So spending that much I would rather get multiple skeins for $80 than 2. And it was more than 80. But, you know, like one of the yarns that I'm like really, really in love with, and I got it and I can't find it at all, and it's a fingering weight, and I tried knitting with it years ago and I got so frustrated I just put it away. And it's mostly gray, but it's got little rainbow bits in it. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I was going to knit something for my sister because she works at a bank and she dresses really nice and everything. I was going to make it for her, but I got really frustrated because I didn't understand the importance and elegance and everything of knitting with dainty stuff and things like that. And now I'm like, I would kill at it. It would just be so fun. And I thought the yarn was in my stash in my van, and it's not. Pisses me off so bad because if it's in one of my, I have 2 storage units because I tried to bring all my stuff back from where I was a while back, and they wouldn't rent me something big enough, so I had to leave some in a storage unit and then move with the rest of it and then bring it with me. So I have a storage unit where my mom lives in Scappoose, and I have one in California, and they keep double charging me and then won't take my call when I try to tell them. One time they triple charged me and refunded me once, and they keep doing this thing. I have auto pay set up, and like every few months they'll say, oh, it wasn't paid, and I'm like, there's money always in there, it's got to be paid, I don't spend money on anything. And then they will get all the way up to like $100 and something, $190 something, and the storage space is $72, $190 something in late fees and all this kind of thing, and then start contacting me and saying, oh, it wasn't paid, but it's on auto pay, why wasn't it paid? So I'm like, I keep saying to them, it's on auto pay, how do you keep messing this up? I keep having to call you, but a lot of the time when I call, they will reject my call immediately, and I'm like, how do I fix this? And then time will go by of me trying to call them, which will accumulate more late fees. Yeah, they've done that to me numerous times. And it would cost me so much money to go there. All the way to Vacaville, California from Oregon. I drive a little car, not a little car, it's a huge car, but I drive a car, a sedan. There's no space in it to take my stuff out, and I could slim down a lot of the stuff that's in there because there is clothes that won't fit me now because I've went down so many sizes, and TVs, and I don't do TV. I watch stuff on my phone or my tablet or my projector. I don't need a TV when I have a projector that I can make the entire wall. We'd play it outside, the whole entire giant tarp, or now I bought a real screen that's like really huge, and we watch movies out there when the weather was nice. And yeah, other than that, I watched it on my phone. So I have like 4 TVs in there, like really nice TVs, and I don't understand. Old clothes, but there's a lot of yarn, my family photos, there's a bunch of stuff in there that I would really like to get out, stories that I've written, things like that I need to finish. A lot of yarn, a lot of fabric, a lot of finished projects, a lot of quilts that I've made are in there, and they keep double charging me, and I can't let it go. And then they're like, oh, would you like to pay this? I was like, yes, I want to pay the original bill. I'm not paying all your other late stuff because you guys keep doing this to me. And then they're like, oh, well, we'll put your thing through, and then they wipe my bank account out without my permission. And I keep telling them to fix their mistake, and they keep saying they will, and then they keep taking all the money out. So, and there's a lot of nice yarn in there. Yeah, I got commissioned a few months ago to make scarves, 4 scarves for my best friend and 3 of her family members, and I crocheted those, and I did a different pattern for each one. But the thing that I did as kind of like a secret bonus is I put the other colors of the other scarves in each scarf, so there were stripes in different fashions in all 4 scarves, and I finished those and gave those to Katrina. It was super fun. My phone's about to die. It says, oh, 5%. Yeah. So, here's hoping I can film a second video and then join these 2 together, but I'm having so much fun knitting. And they did a study on it, and it actually activates the pleasure center of your brain and actually has mentally healing qualities. And it's the only thing keeping me going right now. Like, it is awesome. It is really awesome. So, yeah, I just wanted to come on here and do the first podcast of the series. This is the knitting one. You know, that kind of thing. Hopefully I can do resin sometime soon, but the table that is here has all of his compound bows on it and his arrows and stuff like that. So I can't really get to that right now. But yeah, I was currently watching Death Proof and what's the other one that goes with that? The zombie one. I don't know. While he's gone at his son's house, and I'm like super excited that I get to watch all this crazy stuff. I should be watching Grey's Anatomy because I've missed like a whole season and a half, but yes. Anyway, well, thank you for listening to my crazy stuff. And I'm going to bind off the rest of this and then see if I can start something in a different shape of that. So, thank you for watching. There will definitely be podcasts from my car while I'm at work, in my van, probably outside also. And they will be in these 4 locations: the trailer, the car, the van, and outside. But I'll be here. My hair will be a different color off and on all these times. I think I'm going to do half orange, half pink. Yeah. At work, the black lights of the Marvel exhibit, because I work at a museum, it reacts with my pink and it goes, it's really cool. All right. Thank you.